Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from comic books to manga and everything in between. My name is Aiden, and I hope that you're doing well today. This is Season 3, Episode 19. These are the music references in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, Stardust Crusaders. And this is continuing a trend we did in the last few episodes where we talked about parts 1 and 2 of JoJo, so I wanted to continue on with it. And if you are new to this podcast and want to hear more about manga or Western comics or video games or anything like that, please subscribe and share this with your friends if they're interested. And I post these on YouTube, so if you're listening on that website, then please subscribe, like, and comment any suggestions for future episodes, and I'll also leave the links to my Patreon page and merch store if you want to support the channel financially. You can click on those links and we would greatly appreciate that. I'll also leave the links to my social media profile, so if you want to catch up or send me a message or get updates on the podcast, you can get those there. Anyway, without further ado, let us commence forth. So, Jotaro Kujo is JoJo in this part, and his stand is called Star Platinum, and that is a reference to the song The Marble Astronaut by the South American band Nenhum de Nos. I apologize if I did not pronounce that correctly. I do not speak Spanish, so please forgive me. Or Portuguese, I don't know if they're from Brazil or not, but anyway, that is a reference to their song. And the Jobro, as they're called, are JoJo's allies. His friend Kakuen, his stand is the Hierophant Green, which is named after the Creedence Clearwater Revival album, Green River. And Jean-Pierre Polnareff is another Jobro, and he is named after the French singer Michel Polnareff. Then we have Muhammad Avdal, whose name is a reference to the singer Paula Abdul, and his stand, The Magician's Red, is named after the Uriah Heep song The Magician's Birthday. And his stand's power is a reference to Jumping Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones. Then we have Iggy, who's the dog in the group, and he's named after Iggy Pop, and his stand, The Fool, is based on Iggy Pop's song The Passenger. Now, spoiler alert, the villain from Part 1, Dio Brando, returns in this part, and once again, his name is a reference to the Black Sabbath band member, Ronnie James Dio. And Dio's stand, Zawarudo, is based appearance-wise off of the iconography of Dio's song Holy Diver. And the fact that Dio's base of operations is in Egypt is a reference to the Dio song Egypt, parentheses, the chains are on, close parentheses. Then we go into Dio's henchmen, so we have Steely Dan, named after the band Steely Dan. Captain Tennille, who's named after the music duo The Captain and Tennille. Kenny G, named after Kenny G. Jay Guile is named after the Jay Guile Band. Billie Jean is named after the song by Michael Jackson. Vanilla Ice is named after the rapper. The Oingo Boingo Brothers are named after the band Oingo Boingo. Forever is named after an album by the Wu-Tang Clan. And during the end credits on the first half of the season of the TV adaptation of this, they play Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles. And Kakuen's favorite musician is Sting, who's the lead singer of the band The Police. Then we have another one of Dio's henchmen named Devo the Cursed, who's named after the band Devo. Rubber Soul is named after Rubber Soul by the Beatles, which is one of their albums. Whole Horse is named after Hall & Oates. It's like an amalgamation of their names. Nina is named after the German singer Nina. ZZ, obviously named after the band ZZ Top. Enya the Hag is named after the Irish singer Enya. And in the comic, she mentions John Lennon, who's one of the Beatles, obviously. Fats, is named after Fats Domino, the singer. Manish Boy is named after the song by Muddy Waters. Then we have Prince, Michael, and Lionel, who are Avdol's chickens, and they're named after Prince, Michael Jackson, and Lionel Richie. Then we have Cameo, who's named after the band Cameo. And later in the story, they ride in a yellow submarine, obviously a reference to the song by the Beatles. Midler is named after Bette Midler, the singer and actress. There's a character named Indul, who's named after the singer Yuso Ndur. Again, I apologize if I mispronounced that name. I had to look all of these up, and Youssou N'Dour is a singer from Senegal, so they speak French. And although I do speak a little bit of French, I do apologize if I mispronounced that. Then we have the character Caravanserai, who's named after the album Caravanserai by Carlos Santana. And if you recall, Carlos Santana was also referenced in Part 2 by one of the villains, whose name is Santana. Then we have the characters Shaka and Khan, who's named after the singer Shaka Khan. Mariah is named after Mariah Carey. Alessi is named after the Alessi brothers, who's a musical duo. And the Darby brothers are named after Terence Trent Darby. And the one brother, Daniel Darby, his victims are named after Gary Moore and Christian Vander, who are both singers. Pet Shop is named after the Pet Shop Boys. Cream is named after the band Cream. Roses, who is Susie Q's butler, is most likely named after Guns N' Roses, according to the JoJo Wiki. Wilson Phillips is named after the musical group Wilson Phillips. And there's a point where Jotaro needs to make sure that Joseph isn't being possessed by Dio, so he asks him who sings the song Eat It, and Joseph correctly answers with Ali Yankovic, which is a reference to Ali Yankovic's parody of Michael Jackson's Beat It, from his album Bad. And at the end of this part, Joseph listens to Get Back by the Beatles, and it's referenced because many people have noticed that the song is about a man named JoJo, and people think, oh, that's where Araki got the name. And Sadao Kujo, who's Jotaro's father, is named after Sadao Watanabe, who's a singer. And during the second half of the season, in the TV adaptation, they play Last Train Home by Pat Metheny Group. And those are all the musical references that I can find in JoJo Part 3. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the National Timely Action Hour. Once again, my name is Aidan, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.